What's more annoying than entering a game of Deadlock, getting ahead early, maybe even one lane, grabbed a couple kills, and the game still slips away? The problem is, most players don't actually know how to snowball a lead. They farm safely, focus on souls, and think they're scaling, but what they're really doing is giving the enemy a chance to come back. As for Eternus players, they play a completely different game. They don't just farm, they deny resources, take every buff, control waves, and force fights on their terms. So once they're ahead, they almost never lose. I'm Danny, and in just 10 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how Eternus players snowball their leads every single game. And once you understand how, you'll see why climbing feels impossible if you don't play like this. Now, most players think gaining a lead in Deadlock is just about farming souls. But here's the harsh truth, if you're stacking souls whilst your opponent is denying your jungle, stealing buffs, and controlling the map, you're falling behind without even realizing. Winning is about dominating the map, denying your enemies, and converting every small lead into something bigger. That's why knowing how to snowball your leads correctly from even just a winning lane can be all it takes to start winning every game. When the game starts, think about different ways you can deny opponents. The obvious would be trying to deny as many souls as possible from minions. But what if I told you the buff that spawns on the bridge every 5 minutes can be all it takes to gain priority on the enemy team? They consist of bonus movement speed, gun damage, health regen, cooldown reduction, and more. Take the purple casting buff for example, it grants a 20% reduction in ability cooldowns and an additional 25 spirit power. Or with their gun buff, gain 20% fire rate and 40% extra ammo. That's why securing buffs like these as early as 5 minutes into the game provides you with such an advantage. It's a surprise why most players sleep on it. As a result, in higher ranks the enemy team might also try fight you for these, but luckily I have a strategy to give you priority on them every time. And it's really simple, just shove in your wave first. Make sure your minions are threatening the enemy tower so you don't lose farm while rotating. Waves spawn every 30 seconds and the first buff spawns at 5 minutes. As you might guess, when the timer reaches around 4 minutes 30, consider shoving the wave in. Once done, head towards the nearest jump pad taking you directly towards the buff. And try time your punch, you don't want to be looking like this guy. Now not only are you significantly strong by securing the buff, you've also denied the enemies from it. When returning to lane, abuse this by bullying the enemies, denying souls and taking more space on the map. In fact, look for enemy camps, boxes, and even start taking down the enemy guardian to maximize that lead. If you're really ahead, look to roam into other lanes after taking down the guardian. Gank the enemy and take down more guardians. If your team can manage all 3 guardians early in the game, you gain a flex slot much earlier than the enemy team, allowing you to maintain an item advantage in fights and destroy their convenient shop locations. Otherwise, just look to destroy the other guardians whenever you get the opportunity to. As the timer progresses, we now need to pay attention to sinner sacrifices. These machines spawn at 8 minutes and are worth far more souls than normal jungle camps. A single sinner sacrifice can give as much as 2 or more camps combined. They are so valuable in fact that after clearing waves, it's the second best resource for souls in the game. So with the space you've now made at this point, focus on shoving the wave once again from around 7 minutes 30 and prepare to take space in enemy territory. When stealing the enemy sinners, try secure the 4 permanent golden statue buffs every time. This is achieved by punching the machine and breaking it when all the lights are on at the top. And if you struggle to time this, here's the solution. When there are 3 remaining lights at the top, begin charging up your heavy punch. Done correctly, and 4 permanent buffs should appear on your screen like this. Whenever the situation is looking tight and you're worried about the enemy grouping onto you, then don't even worry about waiting for all the lights. Break the machine as fast as possible because denying it from your enemy is the main goal. Or if you can spot an enemy farming one, kill them and steal it. Invading jungle camps and boxes are also fantastic if you can't safely steal any sinners. The main goal is just to deny every resource possible from the enemy team in order of priority, while still collecting all your waves. So if everything has been executed correctly up until this point, you should have stolen most enemy camps, sinners, and have priority on waves granting map control, while still having camps to farm on your side of the map. That's how Eternus players build leads that feel impossible to stop. And if you're finding this breakdown helpful so far, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got many more in-depth guides just like this one coming, so if you're serious about climbing in Deadlock, you won't want to miss them. Now remember when I said minions spawn every 30 seconds? They are still vital to maintaining a lead. Being the best supply of souls in the game, you should never leave a wave behind. However, fast pushing waves does more than give souls, it controls the map, denying space from enemies. When your waves crash into enemy towers, it forces them to respond, as missing out on just 4 minions from a potentially stacked wave can cost up to 300 secured souls. So as you might expect, 9 out of 10 times the enemy will go to collect that wave, giving you more control to push enemy resources and objectives in other lanes such as another walker. As we reach the 10-minute mark, two major objectives now spawn in: the Soul Urn and Mid-Boss. The Soul Urn is one of the most overlooked objectives in lower ranks, but for Eternus players it's non-negotiable. It's an objective where you pick up an urn at one location and deposit across the map to cash in some great rewards. The first urn, which spawns in at 10 minutes, is already worth around 3,500 souls, and 30 minutes later it skyrockets to nearly 10,000. It's an instant injection of resources that most teams can't recover from, and the value doesn't stop there. When your team secures the urn, everyone gets a share of the souls, so it's like handing your whole team a free paycheck. On top of that, the player who delivers it gets a 25% bonus to their share and even an extra ability point, giving them a mini power spike right then and there. And finally, every single member who participates in the delivery locks in a golden statue buff, a permanent scaling advantage that stays for the rest of the game. That's why I should also mention, by collecting nearby golden statues as you play and timing Sinners correctly, you can just keep scaling. So instead of thinking about the urn as just another side objective, understand it for what it really is, a fantastic opportunity to snowball, which Eternus players abuse every chance they get. Just be aware when depositing the urn, souls fly out the top, allowing enemies to deny you. It's always best to secure them just in case an enemy is being a bit sneaky and might try denying them from a rooftop. The urn also has a unique comeback mechanic that triggers when there is a 10% difference in total soul count between the two teams, granting extra souls to the team delivering the urn when they are behind. This same 10% soul difference also causes the urn's neutral drop-off location to move closer to the losing team's side of the map. So it's always great to pay attention to the soul counts of both teams and even suggest running the urn before reaching the threshold of it moving position. That way you're also denying the enemy, preventing them from taking advantage of this comeback mechanic, further supporting that lead. And it doesn't stop there, the urn also has one more great purpose, but we'll get into that in just a moment. Now regarding the mid-boss, which also spawns in at 10 minutes, typically in a ranked game, you won't be strong enough as a team to fight it this early. In fact, most lower ranked games don't attempt to fight it until at least 20 to 25 minutes have passed. So with plenty of time to get stronger, try push in minion waves and take down objectives. Gaining as many flex slots as possible before tackling mid-boss will be pivotal to increase your chances of winning. Destroying walkers and shoving in waves also creates pressure and forces enemies to react, as they won't want to miss out on all the souls either. And if you are new or unsure how to unlock each flex slot, it's really simple. For the first slot, defeat all 3 guardians. For the second, defeat 1 walker. For the third, defeat all 3 walkers. And for the fourth, defeat 1 set of base guardians. The goal of unlocking these slots is so that you can buy items, ensuring you remain stronger than the enemy. Now, it's really important you come into the mid-boss as strong as possible to snowball your lead further, as it has a special mechanic. When its health bar drops to 60%, the mid-boss emits a roar heard by everyone on the map, informing the enemy team that players are actively taking down the boss. And the enemy team now has time to travel to the arena to potentially contest the objective. That's why if waves are shoved into their base, it can be super useful by delaying them, otherwise they lose out on thousands of souls. When the mid-boss dies, a rejuvenator spawns which slowly descends from the sky. The rejuvenator can be punched up to 3 times, with each successful punch granting a revive to the team. The revives apply to whoever dies next to your team, so don't worry if another teammate grabbed it. Depending on the game state, your opponents might have no choice but to try contest you for the rejuvenator, as obtaining revives can be the best way to end the game. However, you always want to be really cautious of getting contested and pay attention to the enemy team comp even if you're ahead. Not only can different heroes like Lash and Dynamo completely flip a fight with just one ultimate in such a small arena, an enemy can simply jump in and try punch the rejuvenator before you. I'd even recommend delaying the mid-boss until a threat like Dynamo doesn't have their ultimate up or they're sat on a respawn timer. Otherwise, this might happen. But if they contest mid-boss and die, you have plenty of time to group and shove one lane all the way into the end of the game. When they respawn back in, just fight with their revives, they won't stand a chance. On the contrary, if you secure the rejuvenator and the enemies don't contest you with a fight, you might want to take up on that urn again. It's the perfect way to force fights. Since the urn scales with time, if they don't contest you, the soul advantage will become so large that you guys just steamroll them, and you're stripping them from the best comeback mechanic in the game. Or the enemy contests you, which is what we want, being stronger with available revives. Either way, you successfully snowballed a lead from as early as 5 minutes into the game, leaving the enemy with no chance of winning. And that's exactly how Eternus players snowball their leads every single game. If you enjoyed this breakdown or learned something new, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. The more support you guys show, the more time I can spend ensuring the quality only improves from here. And if you want to see these concepts in action, you can catch me live streaming over on Twitch, the link can be found in the description. Come hang out, ask questions, and let me know what other video ideas you'd like to see or if you have any feedback. Anyways, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.